Thanks very much, Bob. And since you've raised the subject of so-called dirty Leeds, when many people who aren't fans of Leeds United think of Leeds United, they think of that fantastic book, film and play, The Damned United. Has anybody seen that? And what do people remember about that film? They remember that Leeds United's shortest ever serving manager was Brian Clough. A good lad, by the way. Let's make sure Boris Johnson is the shortest ever serving Prime Minister. Unlike Brian Clough, Boris Johnson doesn't have any redeeming features. Unlike Brian Clough, after leaving the job we're going to boot him out of before Christmas, he's not going to go on to greater success. So we need that general election. We need to stop a no-deal Brexit for the reason that it is going to be used by Boris Johnson, by Jacob Rees-Mogg, by the rest of that privileged posse in order to have a kind of disaster capitalism of the kind that Naomi Klein talks about in her book, The Shock Doctrine. They want to use that disaster capitalism in order to reshape our public services to be more in the way they are in the United States, to reshape the whole way workers' regulations are in this country. Scandalous deregulation in our country already, but they want to make it worse. They want to shift the balance of wealth and power even further in the interests of the billionaire class. So we need to stop them being able to do that. We need to pin this untrustworthy Prime Minister down so he can't wriggle or writhe his way out of this and push through a no-deal Brexit without any democratic mandate for that whatsoever. But some are saying that we don't need a general election. Some are saying that we do need a general election, but not for a long while, because first let's have a public vote. Those people, respectfully, couldn't be more wrong. We need that general election, and yes, then that public vote with a credible Leave deal and Remain put to the people. But we need that general election because, unlike the Lib Dems, we're not going to just stop at stopping a no-deal Brexit. They just want to stop a no-deal Brexit and then leave the status quo untouched. They think things are by and large fine as they are now. That's no wonder, is it, since they helped to create the rotten system we have at the moment. And when I do my constituency advice sessions on a weekend, I meet person after person who is a victim of market forces. I meet person after person who is a victim of the austerity economics, that political choice that the Tory and the Lib Dem coalition put into place. And it disturbs me greatly when I hear David Cameron say that his source of shame is that they didn't go further and faster with austerity when they had the chance. And it fills me with alarm as well when, being interviewed by the Sea in Bournemouth, the leader of the Liberal Democrats said, "It seems that the Tories have found a magic money tree, and they should remember that being in government means taking tough choices." I'm sick about hearing that phrase, tough choices. All the phrase tough choices is establishment talk for cuts that hurt the most vulnerable. And actually, when politicians talk about tough choices, really they're taking the easy choice, because the easy choice as a politician is to leave things as they are. The easy choice as a politician is to go with the status quo. The easy thing for a politician is to cosy up to the establishment. The easy thing for a politician or a political party is to go cap in hand, debasing yourself, to Rupert Murdoch and the like, asking for their support at any political price. And that's why when Salma mentions the bravery of Jeremy Corbyn, she's completely correct. How can somebody be weak if they have not only resisted but triumphed over the biggest demonisation of any political leader in this country in history? Jeremy has shown great strength, but one of the things that's helped him demonstrate that inner political strength are the 500,000 Labour Party members in this country, the millions of trade unionists, the Stop the War campaigners, the Momentum campaigners, and all those other members of progressive campaigns like the People's Assembly Against Austerity. We need to get that general election. We need to make Boris Johnson history. You know how it works, or you can imagine, when someone thinks they're born to rule. All his life he's been waiting for this moment, dreaming of it, stabbing this person in the back, stabbing that person in the back, falling out with this person, falling out with that person, disappointing his brother, saying this, saying that. But now it's here, what he's waited for all his life. And it's dawning upon him that if it goes wrong, that's it. There isn't this grand destiny to look forward to anymore. So he's there, squatting in number 10. And we know what he would do with squatters. We're going to do the same with him. We're going to boot him out of number 10 before Christmas. So come Christmas, he's writing those Christmas cards in a country retreat that's not called Chequers. We're going to boot him out before Christmas so that the ignominious destiny of this person who thinks he's born to rule is nothing more and nothing less to being reduced to being the answer to a question in a pub quiz. And when you think about what's at stake, I just want to give two examples before I wind up. Because I know that when you're campaigning, sometimes it doesn't seem that glamorous, knocking on doors, putting the leaflets through, doing the street stalls, making those telephone calls. It becomes part of our week-to-week and day-to-day life. But remember what you're doing this for. And here are the two examples. Imagine later this year at the United Nations Security Council, Donald Trump makes the case for the bombing, the invasion, the occupation of Iran. Sat opposite Donald Trump, representing the UK, is Prime Minister Jeremy Corbyn. With a veto at the United Nations Security Council. And he responds to this case for yet another disastrous, inhumane, damaging war by saying no. Enough is enough. A better world is possible. That's what's at stake. Imagine also that those people who plunged the world into economic crisis before, that crisis that started on Wall Street, that led to the Tories implementing austerity. They saw their opportunity. If, and I hope it doesn't happen, a financial crash ever occurred again, perhaps before we get into government, when the case is put to Prime Minister Jeremy Corbyn and to Chancellor of the Exchequer John McDonnell to make the many pay the price economically of that financial crash caused by the free marketeers, the bankers and the speculators, they will say no. They will say no. And that's why we are a threat to the establishment. That's why they are attacking Jeremy in some of these right-wing newspapers. So let's go forward. Let's transform society. Let's get a government that will tackle the huge issue of the fact that free market fundamentalism, free market capitalism has brought the globe to the edge of climate catastrophe. A system where profit is put before people, where profit is put before planet. Let's get a government with Dan Abbott as Home Secretary that won't demonise migrants, will defend migrants, and will counter any movement in society that seeks to divide the vast majority, divide the working class in all its diversity. Tony Benn said, and he was correct, I still believe that the choice is between socialism and barbarism, and I know which side I'm on. You know which side you're on as well. That's why you're here tonight. That's why you're here at this Fringe meeting. That's why you're here at this conference. And that's why when this conference ends, all of us are going to go out, campaign for that general election and make Boris Johnson and the hard right Conservative Party history. Thank you very much.